spell on prison scoff next week will make you mend your manners. And you can start your sentence at 11:05 next Tuesday.
Do you think you've got an advantage then, having cheap labour working in the prison service? I mean, does it benefit the product?
No, we haven't got the advantage for the simple reason that they're unqualified, untrained, and not very enthusiastic to do the job. We try and compensate that by setting up training situations for them.
No, what you've got to remember is at the moment that the prison population is just over 49,000. So we've got a good area of the market to purchase from.
There's 20 establishments where we do feed, ranging from Dartmoor up to Swansea. It's about 7,500 to 8,000 mouths. We produce 30 tonnes of potatoes, and then we got 5 tonnes of cabbage, 4.5 tonnes of carrots, 2 tonnes of Swedes, and about 10.5 of onions.
What sort of budget do you work to then? How much does it cost per man, for instance?
At the moment, it's £5.85 per man per week.
The idea is Calabrese, because speaking to one of the catering officers, he said he wanted some different variety. I said, well, I have Calabrese, and he was in favour of it.
Growing stuff at this establishment, yes, it is kept down by that. Obviously, if we grow it ourselves, then we're putting out the middleman.
We have to walk down here looking interesting and windswept just for the sake of the director.
Oh, is that it?
Oh, it's pathetic. Everywhere we go, we have to stand out in the cold and walk so he can get his shot.
Yes.
That's all we do. Just walk along, point at things like this. Point at something over there.
Oh, right.
Point, and then point at something here like that. And then he's happy, see?
You want me to do one of them for there?
Point,
yeah.
Yes, we've got our own bakery. We supply our own bread, cakes, rolls. We've got a good variation, yes. Some of them know quite a bit as they come in. They've obviously been into other establishments, and we draw them from the other establishments. If they've got bakery experience, then we'll use them for that.
I was looking after all the diabetics, the vegans, all the ethnics that have their curries and their rice diets.
Now, I think mainly he's learned quite a bit on the diet as regards to portion control, what variations you've got to use, and especially with our type of catering, he's able to make a good dish out of minimum amount of goods.
I mean, we had some of the 1,000-calorie diet that you just to lose weight.
Yeah, and that's all right, you can cope with that?
You can cope with that.
It's like going to hell farm, really, isn't it?
Steamed fish, yeah, it's brilliant.
Quite soon, can we have a Chelsea bun?
You should.
Could
she have one?
Yes, you can have one.
Oh no, I licked that by mistake.
Lovely, very good.
Gorgeous. I think I'd rather suit this, don't you think?
I shouldn't be sitting down. I ought to stand up and do it properly. But you see, the volume...
Oh, my God, I thought I was going to get blown away.
Well, there's something there, anyway. Now, Melba was a very great singer, but I don't think they paid the same attention then as they do now to how glamorous they look. She doesn't really look like a 13-year-old girl in love with Romeo, does she?
No,
Not
she doesn't.
quite. But the danger is when you try and lose weight drastically or quickly. That happened a bit to Callas, I think, when people got, asked her to look much. She was very fat when she was young, and the voice probably was better then. I don't think any alcohol is good for me. I'm particularly allergic to it, much as I love it. I mean, it actually affects me. I do know singers who've had a big binge the night before and get up and sing just as well as they did, but they're quite rare. 2 or 3 days before a performance, I wouldn't touch alcohol at all because it dries the cords out. They don't have any lubrication, and so you feel squeaky. And also you get a lot of muck, gunge and things from all those things. I mean, chocolate, dairy products. Chocolate's terrible.
I brought some
yes, I
chocolate
saw
this
that. You'll never become a great singer, I'm afraid, Dawn, if you eat all that chocolate.
Well, I just thought I'd better...
You can have a go. I don't mind you eating here.
Let's
You've not got a
do an
performance for a few
experiment,
weeks.
Which is...
All right.
I'll eat half of this Mars bar and then I'll sing that scale again.
Well, that's a good excuse.
And we'll see whether
right.
or not there's been any difference.
Except that we'd need to work on that scale. I mean, you also find baritones and basses who smoke. Now, that would be dreadful. It would cut half an octave off the top of my voice if I smoked.
So no alcohol, no smoking?
No alcohol, no smoking.
Must be plenty of sex, then.
That's supposed to be pretty good. There's a very famous singer who, it is rumoured, I don't tell you her name, who had it off, as it were, to be crude, before every performance. And she was...
Was she a good singer?
That's her excuse, anyway. Oh, yes, she was. better because it's louder and more
Is
fun.
it better because of the chocolate?
No, it's because I was doing this to you, I think. I ought to do regular exercise. That's terribly important for everybody, but particularly for singers.
You mean
and
general
I'm very
exercise?
lazy. Oh, yes. I mean, either swimming or, you know, or I've got a wonderful, you know, stationary bicycle upstairs, and I tend to hang my clothes on it instead of using it, you see. Every time I think of a butcher shop or something, I think I ought to be vegetarian, but I'm just not that committed.
On the other hand, you think of
I'm
yum
not that
yum
committed
Sunday
about
lunch.
it. Oh, I love it,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
But we couldn't have that every week like my mother used to make. Otherwise, we'd, you know, we really would be out here. Because we have these long periods where we think we ought to be careful and we can't keep it up, and so then we binge away. I mean, I'm a right scoffer. I think it's a good job you have me on the programme because that's exactly what I am, because I love life. Shall I stand up this time?
Yeah. So is it right then, Bill? Most of these fish are caught locally then? Yeah?
That's right. Yes, most of them here. Just a couple that aren't caught here.
What are the ones that aren't?
Well, halibut,
Yeah.
and what else have they got? Haddock.
And is cod like the best seller? Is it always the best
It
seller?
is. Britain seems to enjoy cod a lot. I don't know why. There's so many other species on the market that are really good. Here's a red mullet here. Now, in the Mediterranean, they eat a lot of these, but they're caught locally as well, especially just towards west of here. They're quite
And that's
known.
the hip thing to be eating now, is it?
Well, yes. Yeah, Portugal eats a lot as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is there any fish that you don't recommend?
I don't like skate personally, but the London people love skate. Place live on the seabed, obviously. This is
Oh,
the
do they?
place here. He's the chap with the red spots, and he lives on the seabed. And funny enough, you seem to catch more where there's an outfall.
Oh, really?
And
is it
why?
a sewer pipe?
That's the end of a sewer pipe, yeah. Obviously, the sewers now are controlled by water authorities, so they're not allowed to let out any real rubbish, but they seem to congregate around there anyway.
There we go.
This is a squid, or a pencil squid, we call them. They're related to the octopus, because they got tentacles.
Yes.
And they got stickers on the end. I don't know if you can feel them there. But obviously, when they're alive, they will stick to you. These come from West America, and they're a delicacy. They're fried up.
You don't get squid around here then?
Yes, squid come here, especially down in the West Country, and we catch them here, and they're much, much bigger. 15,
And
20
it's
times
tasty?
bigger. Oh, yes, yeah. One of the most popular fishes now is this bass. Now, this is really nice. When my father was fishing just after the war, even up to the last decade, they were cheap fish. Nobody wanted them. Now, everybody wants them. The price has escalated.
$4.50 a pound.
These are $4.50 a pound, so
Yeah.
he's, what, nearly £2, this chap, I should imagine. So you're talking a lot of money. And in a London restaurant, when it's all been done with fennel and everything like that, I should think you'd have to pay nearly £20.
Oh, really?
I do mackerel trips, taking
Oh, you do?
holiday makers out.
Oh, right. So it's not a kind of serious...
Oh, it is serious.
Oh, it
Yes,
is,
it's my
it is.
living.
Oh, right. Well, yes, of course. But, I mean, if you're taking holiday makers out to catch them...
Yeah, well, they go out there and catch them, and they're obviously staying in hotels or caravans. They take them home and they can either barbecue them or cook them.
And do you
it's
catch enough to sell off as well?
Sometimes we do, yeah, but there's not much money in mackerel. They're very cheap
right.
fish. And what we usually do, we salt them down for our lobsters in the summer.
Well, since we only had a certain allowance of film to do the lobster potting, but the boys decided to use it up on looking at each other being adventurers over all the waves, we're now going to do the lobster potting here at the quayside. Bill, can you come and pull up the lobsters? This is another way of doing it, the cheaper way. Fine. Funny money. There we have a couple of lobsters here. Actually, if we pull them up, okay, well, now we need to bring them over here. So, Bill, now we've got two here. Are these good specimens?
Yes, they're not bad at all. They're quite good condition. They're quite hard.
Yeah.
And they're fresh, as you can see. They're still alive, and that's the main thing.
Yeah. So you've got to make sure then when you go into a restaurant that they're alive and they're in the tank, then you know that there's no problem with them, yeah?
That's right. If you eat a lobster out and it's been dead, you don't know how long it's been dead, and you can get poisoned from it.
Oh, really?
Because they eat dead fish on the seabed, and that can affect their
They're quite
system.
clean living, though, aren't they?
Oh, they love clear water. They must have clear water. They don't like mud and all other things. No.
Well, they're sort of dark blue colour at the moment, so
That's
I suppose
right.
we're going to have to cook them up, yes? Well, this one appears to have picture of its favourite celebrity in its hand.
That's clever. Well, first of all, I normally run it under a tap so that they are sick.
Right.
OK, only leave it in there for 2 or 3 minutes under a running tap.
Do they come out from the sea with elastic bands on them?
No, we have to band them up so they don't bite each other. Otherwise, they'll bite their claws off, OK?
Oh.
So now we've done that.
Right.
What we really want to do is put a nice lot of salt in the water. Always put a lobster in head first. Well, if you put him in tail first and he happens to flip his tail, you'll get covered in boiling water. Right, he's in the water. We'll put the lid on and we'll keep him boiling for about 15 to 20 minutes.
OK, and then is it cooked after that?
Then he'll be cooked, and then we'll let it get cold, or if you want a hot dish, obviously you want it hot, and you put the sauces and things over, but I like a cold lobster.
Well, let's come back when they're cooked. Yes, it's about time now to look at the lobster. There we go.
Right, he's done. Let's get him out. Okay. He's a bit hot now.
Now, you said about this butter.
My mother always used to put a little bit of butter on it, and the presentation of the lobster looked much nicer.
Oh, right.
So I'll take the bands off first, and then I'll give my mother a shout.
Oh, all right, then. She's around.
Well, she should be. She lives down here, you see.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
She's available to butter any lobsters.
Come in, please, will you?
Mother!
Butter.
Mother!
Now then, we boiled this lobster, obviously. Well, if we were going to barbecue it, which is another way of doing it, or grilling it, I would split the lobster the other way first. And I'll do it that way to show you, and it will kill a lobster instantly. You push the knife in and run it forward.
Oh, this is while it's alive.
That's while it's alive, and it will kill it absolutely instantly.
I bet it would.
It wouldn't like that.
Let's kill anything instantly.
And we'll carry on splitting this down through. As you can see, it's a hard lobster, this one. Mind your finger, eh?
I will.
There we are. He should be split open.
There we go.
Now then, before anybody eats this, she's full of eggs, by the way.
Yeah, I just saw that.
That's lovely. Before you eat this lobster, a lot of people don't know, there's a dirt line here.
Yes.
Where you want to remove all this.
It's just the waste, is it?
That's right. Yeah, and it can sort of affect the flavour. You want to make sure that it's all out. And if you are really hungry, you can snap his legs off and you can actually squeeze meat out.
Oh, my goodness.
No, you try that.
No, I can't, because I can't eat shellfish.
What's
What's all this green gunge, then?
Well, that's some of his stomach. But you can,
but you don't need that
eat,
bit.
Eat all the white bits in here.
Yes.
I don't like that bit.
No.
You can eat some of it.
Oh, right.
OK.
Great.
There
So
we
it's not
are.
actually as hard as it looks.
No, not at all.
Because people get like special little implements that
Oh,
they
well,
can
you
get.
need the implement, you see, to get the
I
meat
see.
out of
So you're
it
just
here.
hooking it all out.
See, you can pull that out.
Yeah.
Well, it should come out, yeah.
Yeah. Is Brighton! And this is the 21 Hotel. And this is the dining room, where Simon, thank you, it's enough for you, serves all his meals. Right, I'm going to make tomato and plum soup with white wine and basil. Now, here are the ingredients. 1/4 of a Spanish onion, here, ole. Olive oil. Simon has prepared some of these things for me. 1 pound of red plums cooked and stoned. I think that's this. 2 pounds of tomatoes peeled and chopped. 1 pint of chicken stock. 1/4 pint of tomato juice. 1/4 pint of durée. 6 basil leaves. Peel of 1 orange here. Juice of 1 orange. Nip of Pernod. Number 1. Soften the onion in the oil.
Just hot enough so that it doesn't brown them, but we'll just soften them so that they go transparent almost.
I don't know how big or small the onions have to be. I don't know how much, but I'm going to guess. Should the oil be hot? Add all the remaining ingredients. All of them. Do I take it off the heat? Right, 1 pound red plums cooked.
Just with a little water, no sugar, and then when they're cold, stoned.
Oh, no, I know that's not the right noise.
The secret of any soup is a good homemade stock, which you can make in batches, you can freeze it, and use it when you want to.
Pint of chicken stock. 2 pounds of tomatoes peeled and chopped.
Fresh tomatoes.
They look a bit like the plums, really. Are these basil leaves? I don't know.
And some fresh leaves of basil.
I'm putting the basil leaves in now. Do I just put them in like that?
Orange peels go in there.
In we go. It all goes in, no fear. Here goes in the juice of an orange.
I'm making double the amount that Dawn would be making.
Quarter pint tomato juice, nip of pernod. Don't look at how much a nip is, otherwise you'll know how much I drink.
And some white wine. We'll add actually all of that.
Quarter pint dry white wine. I don't even know.
So the basil and the pernod and the orange give it a nice Provençal flavour.
I'm bringing it to boil and simmering for 15 minutes.
You can not add the plums to it and just have it as a plain tomato soup, which is lovely, which you can serve hot or cold. Or in the summer, you can do a puree of strawberries and add that to it and serve that chilled, and that's lovely. So you've got a basic soup and just add a fruit to it or not.
We take it off the thing.
And we'll puree the soup.
Well, how long do we leave it to cool for then? It won't melt the blender, will it? Will it?
Right, so the secret of this is to blend it in smallish amounts.
Do you think I should put the whole lot in?
You really do need a blender to make these sort of soups.
Oh, no! It's all coming up the thing.
I mean, you could very finely chop everything.
I don't know how long you do this for.
And you'd have a rougher soup.
Oh, my God!
Which could be very pleasant.
We rub it through a fine sieve.
And you're just taking out the seeds that are in there, the bits of onion.
And the stuff that's coming out, although it looks nice, to me, what's left in the sieve looks much better.
Yeah, since we've got to skin some of the tomatoes, or all the tomatoes, some of them I make into a tomato rose for a garnish.
Check seasoning. And I think it needs a bit of salt, a bit of pepper.
The rest of the tomatoes, if you want to skin, you just make incisions in the top and then drop them into boiling water and let them sit there for a while. The skin just peels off very simply.
Skin, de-seed and chop 2 tomatoes.
For this one, we're just going to make a tomato rose, which looks pretty, and...
I am skinning them. I've never skinned a tomato before in my life, so I'm quite proud.
Right, so that's our garnish.
There's my soup. Then garnish plate with tomato rose. Ah, those are easy to make.
So you start from the top end.
And there you are. Tomato rose. I'm here from outside and I'm making my soup. French food, this next item is supposed to be. What a bloody nink-wink idea.
Have you tasted yours?
I tasted it just before
It's a bit thin.
Who is that lanky lummox and where the hecking heck does he think he's going?
Bit heavy on the old Pernod. Bit heavy on the old...
Well, I like Pernod.
Vino, I think.
Oh, too much of all the alcohol, you reckon?
It's not bad, actually.
It's that way! Why haven't you got
A
lots
bit
of bits of
white wine.
tomatoes?
I have.
Floating about
I have.
yours.
Right, go on, you have a...
Oh, you have?
You have a taste.
Watery, isn't
Which
it,
do you
mine?
prefer?
Well, my allegiance is to this plate, but my taste buds say that plate. What would you recommend people to have? Say people just starting out with.
Well, and if they really were beginners of any age, and they honestly hadn't done anything else, I would look for a book that almost took you by the hand and said, look, dear, this is how you begin. Preferably where you have books that go 1, 2, 3 in the method. Now, the book you were handling was one of my early books, and that, I think, made people do a double take because it was full of colour. And it came after things had been rather dreary and dull. And it also gave people a very vast range of recipes. This one, Learning to Cook, again, has the sort of thing that I said. It tells you really what to buy to begin with, if you really were setting up a home as well as starting to cook. And here's a lovely one on food and cooking in Britain. You may feel, I'm going to be very British. I know where I'm going, and I'm going to specialise in that sort of food. This has been compiled by very accomplished chefs around in many countries. And that shows you, see, if you're a sophisticated person, that's the kind of food you'd be heading for.
So this is very grand.
It's very grand, but that doesn't necessarily mean when you've learnt to cook that you can't be grand on occasions, even once a year. And here I've got one of the most famous of all names is Scoff. You may say, oh, that's old hat. No, it isn't.
Scoffier.
It's Scoffier. Maybe I put the emphasis in the wrong place. Ma cuisine. And that is a Bible of classic super cookery. And now you see you've picked on something which, again, what is your particular interest? The way your eyes are lighting up.
I'd like to have 3 of these books with as many different chocolate items as possible.
Well, there you are. You see,
I'd be perfectly happy.
So I think as you progress with cooking, then you find the things that interest you most. And your next books probably might well be specialist books.
So what is the exact point of this item?
Well, I reckon by shopping in a French hypermarket instead of your local deli, the money you save gives you a free trip abroad. You know, it may be just for the day, but it is a free holiday.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way, does it?
Well, I think it will.
Did you research this item?
Well, I thought about it.
Oh, Lord. Right, now we're going to film John, who has now come back as Jean, apparently. Introduce yourself. You are...
Jean.
He is Jean. Now, what did you get with all the money I gave you to the hypermarket?
On my first trip to Calais, my French maid gave to me...
No. I don't want to know what the French maid gave to you. I can imagine what she gave to you, thank you very much. What did you buy in the hypermarket? That's the point of it.
Escargot.
Yes?
And a French maid.
Yes, I can see the French maid. Ha, thank you.
Perrier.
Yes.
Saucisson. Petit peu. Escargot. On a French maid.
He's getting more excited about the French maid as it goes on.
Cassette de Maurice Chevalier.
No! That is not the point. I asked you to get stuff in the hypermarket. You're showing me something that hasn't even been through customs yet.
Seriously, Dawn. 200 bottles of beer.
Is that what you got?
Look.
I can't quite believe that I have paid
Un,
for
deux,
this.
trois, quatre, cinq.
No, I'm sorry. No, forget it.
And a French girl.
No, forget it. So, right, what we're going to do, Bill, is that salmon you've got there, we're going to dunk it in the water and we're going to bring it up with the nets. Because it's unlikely that we're going to find a fish today, a salmon.
That's right.
We're going to pretend, because that's what you do on television. You basically, television is all about lying to the public through your back teeth.
Yes.
And they'll believe it, you see, when we pull it up.
You reckon?
Well, would you believe it or not?
Well, I wouldn't, but we'll shake him about and make it look more realistic.
We'll wiggle it a bit, and everyone, I promise you, everyone will believe that that is a live salmon. And you just lie like that. You just get good shots by doing that. Now, is this a... Where did you get this salmon?
This is a farm salmon. Well, obviously, we wanted to have a salmon to show what a salmon looks like, but well, you can't really tell without having a fresh one here, but the fins on the back are slightly rounded, where he's been in amongst a whole load of other fish, and the fins are slightly worn out. Now, on a fresh run salmon, his tail would be very nearly as big as that. So he's got the power to swim in, and you can see all these edges are worn out.
Are we likely to catch a salmon today?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
But the chances are quite slim this time of the year.
So what's happening now then?
Well, they're shooting the net, or casting it, as they say.
Yeah.
They've got to have one end of the net on the shore.
Okay.
The tide will take this down slowly. The other man's rowing the net out as far as he can. There's some moorings out there, which you'll see. And the net will go down, and then he'll haul it in at the other end. The whole procedure will take about a quarter of an hour. He's just rowing a line ashore now.
Yes.
But by law, as soon as you've rowed ashore, you must haul it in. But you must keep this end on the beach, this end here. Otherwise, the salmon could come up and scuttle around the end there.
So if there's one at all in there, it's going to be in that little arc there.
Well, that's right,
well, the big arc,
yeah. Are you going to put the salmon in the
Yes, we need to. I mean, is this about the right time to do it?
Well, nearly.
Hooray! Look, we've got one!
Well, if I was going to take this home to cook it, get a nice bowl of fresh water, a little bit of salt, a couple of bits of lemon on the top, and a few herbs. Put it in the cold water.
Don't laugh, otherwise it makes it look too obvious.
Bring it up to the boil, then walk around the kitchen twice, switch it off, and leave it in the water until it's cold, and then take it out.
And that's just exactly the right time to cook it. So you really hardly cook it?
You hardly cook it at all, and that will be as juicy as it is now.
Depends how big your kitchen is, of course.
Well, that's right.
Invitation.
Scoff, son!
There's quite a lot of jokes about aeroplanes, and I don't know any of them. All I know is that I've slept with Richard Branson 3 times to get us these tickets. Come on. So here we go. We're all on board, ready to go to New York. Have you got? Right. I'm off up to first class where all the show business personalities go. Okay? See you in New York.
Here's a song about food, because everybody loves it. And everybody needs it. And everybody wants it.
For a lifetime, people have sat round the edge of my plane saying, first of all, I know where you put it all, and it does you no good. Don't make yourself ill. And they carry on like this. And I am in my 80th year, and I think it's too late for anyone to tell me how to live my life. So the answer is that it certainly hasn't hurt me to live a life of baked beans on toast. And in any case, by the time you're 40, the way to live is the way you've always lived.
Oh, I forgot my microphone. My microphone. Forgotten it.
The microphone, I have
don't
one.
do anything until I come back up.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm going to start off with making a pompano, which is an American dish. When you fillet it, you want to start off with an incision right underneath the gill by the head. Go down all the way to the bone, and then take your fillet knife and start from the tail. Run your knife along the bone. It's good to have a flexible knife. And as you see, as I'm scraping it, I'm also pulling with my hand. I'm going to use the remains of the fish bones, and I'm going to start my sauce. Take the fish. You want to put a little salt and pepper in here, a little garlic and shallot mixture, and some lemon. I also add sherry wine. I add some chicken stock. Now that's going to reduce. I'm going to skin the fish, so when you eat it, you're just going to eat the meat, the skin side down in the clarified butter, and then I'm going to a prepared mixture of cornmeal and seasoned breadcrumbs. And you want to give it a nice coating on that. Place these in here gently. Okay, when you start seeing the edges becoming partially cooked, lower your heat and just take it out with a spatula and just transfer it into a sizzle platter with a little salt and pepper and a little shallots over here.
Shallots is what we call them in
okay.
the other side.
And then I put a little wine on the bottom of it, a little clarified butter, a little on top, and then I finish it in the oven.
I try to avoid kinky food. I don't eat raw fish, and I don't eat anything far-fetched. I like bland food. In England, a woman said, curling her lip, "You eat nursery food," and I do.
People are very conscious of what they're eating these days, and they're, you know, they want light, simple, plain things. This has been reducing for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna finish it with a little sherry. What happens when it boils, the alcohol reduces. Look, see, it's paying too much attention. Still tastes good. I'm gonna saute some chopped shallots, some of the crab meat. These are chives, and some fresh parsley. Add your sauce. And here it is. This is it. This is a pompano with the crab meat, the sherry wine stuffing, and I garnish it with a little edible flowers that I got from California.
And that's all you...
Excuse me. Right, I've got it. I've got my mic.
And that's all from the kitchens of the conservatory.
You're supposed to wait for me to ask you the questions. I'm the presenter.
Well, I have hungry people over here that want to eat, so...
Say cut, chef.
Cut.
There's a huge difference with sandwiches here, then?
Oh, yes, completely different. I've warned Americans about that, because in England, as you know, he holds the bread like this, because if he holds it like that, it comes undone like lace. And he puts the butter on, and so for an etching, it only lies in the crevices. Then he puts a sheet of meat on it, and then he puts the other piece, and the whole sandwich is that thick. And in America, it's a hero, it's called. It's half a long loaf like that, cut horizontally. And that has the meat, the cheese, the onion, the lettuce, the tomato, and then the top on like that. And you have to press it down like that, because if you don't, when you go to eat it, it eats you.
So I'll like ask a question, like I'll say, so Scotty, tell me about delis. And I'll hand over to you and you do about 3 or 4 minutes about delis, okay? The other thing is, I'm going to start off with a joke about the Carnegie. And it goes like this. You may not have heard it before. How do you get to the Carnegie Deli?
I don't know. How do you get to the Carnegie Deli?
Practice.
No, that's the Carnegie Hold on.
Oh, yes. How do you get to the Carnegie Hall? So, Scotty, tell us all about delis.
What about delis?
Well, you know all about delis, don't you?
I've never eaten a deli in my life.
I thought you said you were going to help us on the delis.
Okay, here you go, darling. Nice corned beef sandwich for you. Think you can handle that?
Yes. What are the super sandwiches if this is
this
an ordinary
is
one?
the normal sandwich.
That's pickled tomatoes?
That's tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Well, we say tomatoes over here.
Let's
cut the whole thing out, yeah.
I don't know where to start with it.
Just break it apart. You don't have to...
What, with this?
Whatever way you want. You got a fork here. Use a fork.
No, I'm going for the fork.
All right, you want to put mustard on it?
I'm doing it the way Quentin Crisp told me to.
Yeah.
Ready?
The English have etiquette, which is a process of exclusion. The etiquette means that if I am drinking my soup in the wrong way, you now know never to invite me to sit at your table again. The Americans have manners, which is a process of inclusion. It is a way of making you feel that nothing you could do could possibly be wrong.
What's the difference between the way people eat in England and the way Americans eat?
Well, they eat with their mouth open, which is disgusting.
How do you know that they eat like that?
Because I see them, that's how I know.
Why, what do you do?
Oh, I work in a restaurant.
You see?
Carnegie Deli is built on a foundation of freshly cut meat made to your order in abundant quantities. Now, we're going to give you an exhibition of what we call the Jeff's Tartlet. It's a number 13, which consists of corned beef. Corned beef is brisket of beef that's cured, pickled. It's aged for about a week to 10 days in the brine before it's cured and cooked. Now, this is the beginning of the Jeff's Tartlet. The next one, you get a scoop of coleslaw. You get another slice of bread, freshly cut turkey, with a little coleslaw. And this sandwich, when I get through, is going to measure approximately 7 to 8 inches. Now, when we put this on the table for a customer, they open their mouth, their eyes, and they go, ooh, ah, you see that sandwich? This sandwich could possibly feed a family of 4 without any trouble. Just by comparison, I want to show you the prior toothpicks that we had, which became too small for the sandwich, and we had to substitute it with a pick this size. Otherwise, it don't hold the sandwich. Besides, these are a lot cheaper, too.
You see, the problem with filming a food program in New York is that everything is interiors.
Don't ever make the faintest attempt to return hospitality, because you will wear yourself out. If you are going to distribute your wealth, you distribute it downward. Don't try to save up your money for a year to buy a meal for 2 people who live in a grand house and have given you a 5-course meal on gold plates. This is rubbish. You make sure they know you're enjoying yourself and that you're grateful. But your money, if you're going to give it away, you give it to people below you. Otherwise, you think, I can't. This is the 3rd time I've been to dinner with them.
Unless, of course, you get up on the roof of a building. Up on the Roof, that's the name of the song.
Whatever will they think? They don't think anything. They know you're poor and they're pleased with your company, and if they're not, they won't invite you.
Now, this is something you can't get in England. Real Italian pizza. Look at it. Isn't that great? Just the way it should be. Nice and greasy. And a slice. You can't get a slice in England. You have to buy these whole big things with, like, tuna fish or ham and pineapple on the top. This is pizza the way it should be.
Derek, are we going to do the article about pizza?
I just did it.
Oh.
That was it.
Does it taste good then, Scotty? What's the difference between American and Italian pizza?
Well, there isn't American pizza. See, everyone here is Italian. Everyone who makes pizza here is Italian. Everyone who makes Chinese food is Chinese. That's the way it goes.
This is my job. Cut there. Hotel to talk about how to decorate a key lime pie. Now, this is a key lime pie, and the way I'm going to be decorating it is with these rum balls. And what you do is you take one of the balls and you just put it on top of the pie like this. But they seem to have a way of doing it sort of with lots of different kind of desserts. You either put it on the top, or you put it on the side, or you actually serve it to people, sort of as a side dish. And they just sort of put it on themselves. But I'm going to actually be decorating this one.
Oh, what about a drink? These days, people like to have non-alcoholic drinks or low-alcoholic drinks. I could give you one of our wine coolers, which is 5% alcohol, and it's peach and rum over ice.
In America, everything has ice in it unless you try and prevent them putting ice in it. And the mistake of the ice is that really there's nothing in your glass except the water.
So why do they call them coolers?
Coolers because it's a very cool and light and good drink for the summertime. That's why they call it a cooler.
You have to remember, whatever you're drinking, you say you want it without ice. And if you like ice, you then say, what a foolish little thing I am. I think I will have some. I'm holding on to your glass like that. And they bring you the ice in a separate glass. Otherwise, you get nothing but water.
Well, these days, with the problem with driving and the DWI, yes, it is the in thing to try and drink things with as little amount of alcohol as possible. So everybody is very serious about it because there's been a lot of people that have been hurt very seriously.
Did it work? Yes, it did. Great. Oh, that'll impress them. Here we are on the deck the USS Iowa, and just up there is where President Reagan and Nancy Reagan stood at the bicentennial. Who cares? We're on the USS Iowa, and Tim's here. Tim, quick. You have to hurry, we have to do it very quickly. This is Tim, and we're in the bakery. And tell us quickly about the bakery.
We make our bread products and pastries and all that stuff.
Everyone who re-enlists in the Navy here on the USS Iowa gets a cake whenever they re-enlist. Say, come on. Well, right here we have, she's eating molasses crumb cookies, and we also got oatmeal cookies over here.
What do you do, Dwayne?
I bake.
You do? Did you learn to bake here?
Yes, originally, yeah.
Do you eat the cookies?
Yes, I eat them.
We call them biscuits in England, but they're just as tasty.
What's the special? The special are chocolate chip cookies. We call them battle chip cookies.
Aren't you famous for them?
Yes. Captain says they're the best in the fleet. They won a guy who made up the recipe, won him a Navy Achievement Medal.
He won a medal for his recipe for the cookies. What's your name?
Vito.
What do you do?
I'm a cook.
I know you're a cook. What are you doing right now?
Oh, right now I'm chopping up some onions for the mustard greens.
Have you been crying?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going over here to January, the star of the ship.
Okay, then right now I'm here making my mustard green, which Seaman Corvedo is cutting up my onions, right? And see, the mustard green for me is one of my most favorite products. And to me, it takes me time and time to get it right, so it can always taste good. Because see, every time I make them, everybody come back for seconds and thirds. Even though they have to watch the calorie counts, they don't gain too much weight. But one day you can try some, if not today. Delicious.
You still got 30 seconds to go, Mr. January.
See, I got Cut.
He's cut. Well, he's not a professional at all. Cut. Petty Officer Tyson's going to show us exactly what happens when you come through the door. What happened?
Okay. Right around the corner, you pick up one of your trays. It's a metal tray with places for each thing. You come through if you want a bowl for salad or whatever, you can get it. Usually there's a meat item here and a starch.
I want you to stop here just for 1 second. What is the meaning of this?
Okay, these are our garnishes. It's our veg prep room that you've already been through.
Do you chop everything up here as well? They've got onions here and radishes, and all the dips are over here. Quick, look at them.
Right here in the morning, they have a grill right there, and they have eggs to order. Any kind of eggs
So you just put your plate on there and get your eggs in there?
The guy will ask, say, what kind of eggs you want, and you just tell him I'd like over easy omelets or whatever.
You're allowed as much as you like?
As much as you like.
Oh, here we are. So this is the milk dispensers here?
Right, we have chocolate and
chocolate milk? I'm joining the Navy tomorrow. Hello, who's this, Mr. Tyson?
This is Senior Chief Vito, our boss. He's the leading chief petty officer of the mess. He's the one that's in charge of the overall operation.
So he's the important guy. Okay. Hello, nice to meet you. How'd you do? How many stripes can one man have on his arm?
Every stripe is 4 years, and I have 6, so at least I have
So you've been in the Navy for 582 years? We have to walk. He wants us to walk past here for the establishment. I know this is it. We're here already.
Well, we're passing
no, we have to pretend to walk out of shot like this. We're here.
That won't work. Keep going, but this way.
Oh, it just looks stupid.
Well, it must be around here somewhere, John, but
oh, don't you join in with this stupid joke.
What do you do? Cook up some Irish stew. Oh, no!
Yes, here we are on a whistle-stop tour of New York at 42 Grove Street, the home of the famous Pink Teacup Restaurant, a soul food restaurant, something else I know absolutely nothing about.
Yeah, well, why don't you just piss off home, then? Goodbye. Hello, and we're here today to meet... No, I haven't got any money. Goodbye.
Derek,
go
here's
and
some
earn
money.
it. Go and earn
Derek.
it on the street.
Thank you. I'm back. I'll take the bus.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. So you've been cooking this food for a long time. How did you learn how to cook it?
I'm only following the recipes that were given to me by my uncle.
Oh, right, so there's quite strict recipes then for each thing.
Everything you must follow the recipe.
We have here a can of tuna, a can of salmon, which we add into the bowl. Then you take 2 eggs. Here we have rice, which you add in.
That's pre-cooked.
Pre-cooked rice, yes. Some diced onions, chopped up. And then this is all mixed together. Then you add some black pepper. And after it's mixed, this is then formed into a salmon. You coat it with flour. And then it's cooked in hot grease.
What is soul food mean?
Soul food, southern cooking. Ribs, smothered chicken, smothered pork chops, greens, pie, sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, chocolate cake, and coconut cake.
What a cobbler?
That's a deep dish pie.
Ah.
This is the sweet potato pie. Have you ever had pumpkin pie?
Oh, yes.
Something similar to
yeah,
pumpkin
no,
pie.
I see.
Okay. Now, this is the apple pie, see, and that's
Yes.
the regular apple pie. See, it's not a deep dish like this is.
Uh-huh.
What's the difference between a regular waitress and a soul food restaurant?
The soul food, I'll tell you, the soul food waitress doesn't smile at you. She's so cool.
This one's smiling.
Yeah, but she's cracked for a second, just for a second there.
This is what they call the grits. And
Well,
they eat it for breakfast, like, but they don't eat it as a cereal. They eat it as like a rice or something like that.
You have a temptation to imagine frog spawn here. So, that is the Pink Teacup, a soul food restaurant in the village, okay? We can wrap it up there.
You'll recognise somebody. It's been in the background. Some
Where?
bird or other.
Lenny? What the hell are you doing here? You're supposed to be in England. Who is that woman there? Oh, my God. Cut.
I'm from South Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Country boy.
And is that why you eat here? Why do you eat here?
One of the reasons I eat here. It's sort of a combination of reasons to come here. Food, number one, is the best. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of my grandmom's cooking. Iced tea. Nobody in New York City can make iced tea like Pink Teacup. Yeah, iced tea. So, and pancakes, pecan pancakes, blueberry pancakes, bacon that's real bacon, not that sort of skinny.
Oh, the skinny twiglets that you get in New York.
You get real bacon.
You get back bacon.
And what else? I love the waitresses here. They're mine.
They're so cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
Always so happy and smiling. Final question, McKinley. Who's paying the bill?
I'm not.
You can live. If you could live on peanuts and champagne, you need never buy food again. Because you have all these invitations, they come every day.
But you've got to be Quentin Crisp to be asked for those kind of things, haven't you?
Well, there are a lot of people on the peanut circuit. I meet them wherever I go. They're all there. And as far as I know, your part of the bargain is that you will be photographed and you will answer questions.
Hi, good
Hello,
afternoon.
have a nice day.
Hi, how are
Gee,
you?
golly. All
Just
those
need your
things.
ticket and passport, please. Ticket and passport?
The ticket, of course, the ticket. The ticket.
I'll see.
I've got the tickets.
I'm afraid I can't help you unless you have your ticket.
Well, couldn't I just take my crew on board?
I'm afraid I can't let you go, ma'am.
Well, I am a virgin. Does that help?
Afraid
No.
not. I can't let you go unless you have a ticket.
But we got a problem with the tickets. I can't find the tickets. Who's got the tickets? Have you got the tickets? Have you got the tickets? Morris, have you got the tickets? You're supposed to have looked after them. Oh, God. Nobody's got the tickets. Well, leave it up to me. I know exactly what I'll do.